Champions pairs ain't playing safe. It's showing us who's overrated, whose foundation is built on hype, and I don't know about you guys, but MIBR and DRX bounced early in their regionals and had to rely on divine intervention to even qualify. But the flip side, they've had the strongest boot camp heading into champs. While other teams were crawling out the regional playoffs, MIBR and DRX were already grinding in the lab. Anyway, how are your Pickems? So far I have 25 points. Now that the first round of matches is done and we've seen how teams are shaping up, I'm going to make updated predictions on the upcoming games. Who makes it to the top 8 and who doesn't? Let's find out. So first off, Paper X versus Giant X. Giant X are walking around with that swagger, thinking they've proved themselves on the big stage. But let's not kid ourselves. That confidence came from beating Sentinels, a team everyone thinks is strong but really ain't all that right now. The only question is, will getting rained out at the Eiffel Tower slow PRX down? Because wet socks and a cold ain't exactly part of W gaming. As I see it, Paper X might breeze through or Giant X might put up a fight. Whatever the case may be, I still expect Paper X to win this one. Next up we have XLG versus Sentinels. I would like to think XLG is so desperate right now, and with DRG going against G2, they for sure are extra motivated to win this one so that they can finally put on an end to DRG's hopes of staying in the Chinese league so that they will be the ones who's staying. On the other hand, things are really looking bleak for Sen City, and if you look at it, they are on a losing streak, starting from G2, then NRG, and then now Giant X. That's 3 losses in a row. They look really shaky right now, but I will still give them the benefit of the doubt. They still have the core 3 that got a trophy last year after all. So for this one, I think Sentinels would still win. Let's proceed to the next one. MIBR versus Fnatic. The Verno we're seeing right now is what we expected to see at Masters Toronto. I guess he just came in a little late, but nevertheless, he is here now. And with what MIBR has shown against BLG, they are looking hot right now. On the other side, Fnatic will always and forever be the old guards that has a ton of not only experience but also firepower. Will Fnatic be able to exploit MIBR's inexperience on the international stage? I guess we'll have to wait and see. This is not logical at all, but I'm going with MIBR. Then the next match, which is BLG versus RRQ. Okay, so let me start by saying that I really do not have a read on BLG, so sue me, man. People are saying they're good, but with what they've shown against MIBR yesterday, I really didn't see anything. Maybe it's the nerves or what, but hopefully they can get that out of the way and so that finally I can see what this team is truly made of. So with that said, I'm going with RRQ in this one. Next up, we have DRX versus NRG. I actually predicted this, but not in the upper bracket or whatever you may call this. I predicted DRX to win because I think that DRX's offense will prevail against NRG's defense. And yeah, that's how I see it. And also, I think that Hyunmin is special, so it's a DRX win for me. Next up, we have Liquid versus EDG. Oh my goodness, Nats looked lost on the last game, but I expect him to bounce back, of course. He's one of the veterans of the game, so yeah, the mental should be strong, so I expect him to lead the team in their next game. I also expect Liquid to tidy up the comms, strats. On the other hand, I want to give props to EDG for making the game against NRG close. They might not have won, but at least they have proven that they can still go toe-to-toe with the best of the international teams, and if they can clean it up, it's possible that they can make a deep run again on this tournament. And another thing is that DRX might have exposed how to play against Liquid. I watched an analysis from Chobra and he's talking about how DRX shut down Nats. His lurk, his flanks, he was not just able to get it going, so...
He's jumping! In here and they are making no! Oh, Andy. Yeah,
I guess that could serve as the blueprint, but the question though is, does EDG have the personnel to do what DRX has done? Anyway, with all of those factors taken into consideration, I still think that Liquid should win this one. Next up is Team Heretics versus T1. Honestly, on my original Pickems, I should have thought more about the G2 versus Heretics pick. After all, Heretics won EWC, so they're by no means pushovers. and G2 hasn't won anything outside of Americas this year. Meanwhile, on the other hand, T1 barely scraped by against a team that had an emergency sub in Demon 1. Those alone are some good indicators that Heretics should win this matchup. And lastly, we have G2 versus DRG. Finally, we get to the juice. How amazing Champs Paris group stage turned out to be, man. Of all the scripts, I didn't expect this to be the one that has the most to offer. But first, let's be honest, a big factor why G2 lost is I think because back in LA, there were no good competition around. They were decimating everyone in their path. They didn't get challenged enough to prepare them to the monster that is the international stage. You don't have to wonder why MIBR bootcamped in Germany. And also, the most exciting thing about this one, this is G2 versus Demon 1 actually. You know, G2 was supposed to get Demon 1, but they didn't choose him. They choose Baby Bay instead, something like that. How true it is, we'll never know, but it's a good story to tune into because what will happen here? Whatever the case may be, this will be a good show. So, but nevertheless, unless something happens to G2 drastically, I don't see them losing to DRG. Heck, they might even sub in Baby Bay just for the fun of it, you know? As much as a hype matchup this is, Demon 1 getting revenge to G2, I think that G2 will still get this one. So yeah. So while we're at it, let's actually look at the power rankings right now. And right off the bat, I think this is kind of wrong because how is G2 still number 1 if they lost to Heretics? If the power score is cumulative, then I guess you should not call it power rankings because to my understanding, the power ranking should be a weekly thing where the team that has the best performance over the whole week should be the one who is getting the higher ranks. In this case, G2 lost, so I don't understand why they're still number 1. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. What I think the power ranking should be is for Paper X to be placed at the first spot, and then Fnatic at the second spot, and then the third spot is kind of really hard because you know RRQ didn't do anything. You can put energy in it, but they were just against a struggling EDG team. BLG was like, yeah. T1 is kind of the wild card here. Yeah, Liquid, they did not do good in round 1. Then DRX, this team is a top 6 cursed team, so I can put them on 3rd. Obviously, Team Heretics beat G2, so if we're talking about beating the number 1 team last week or something, then I think you could safely put Team Heretics on the 3rd spot. And then other than that, there's really no other team that I would think. MIBR is here. Yeah, they beat BLG, but then again, man, I don't know what it is, but I just don't trust the CN region right now. But I just have this feeling that based on what I'm hearing and what I'm reading on Reddit and on X, the region is struggling as a whole. So going back, you were to ask me what this should be, Paper X number 1, Fnatic number 2, and Heretics number 3. And if you really think about this, these 3 teams are actually the cursed teams of Valorant. Maybe not Fnatic, but I made a video making a case about it. Basically, the cursed teams are taking over now. And maybe add to that actually DRX, because they are cursed with that top 6 thing. And if the cursed teams are dominating, then why not include them? Maybe top 4 DRX, right? So there it is. I guess I'm not beating the CN hater allegations at this point. What are your preds on this round 2? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.